Hi, I'm Kevin the Happy Hipster, and you're watching the SDP. This month, I'm here to celebrate the anniversary of a certain special someone. A blue, kind of cute video game mascot. No, but good guess though. I'm talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, whose first game was delivered unto us in June of 1991. Now, for many years, I've been a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. Seriously, this guy was like the Mickey Mouse of my generation. Yet, for as much as a fan as I am, I'm not blind to some of the franchise's lesser moments. In fact, there have been enough bad Sonic games for me to fill out not a top 10, but a top 11 list with them. Why top 11? Because when you're as big a fan as I am, you've got to go one step beyond. So, let's not waste any time. Sonic would have wanted it that way. Here are the top 11 worst Sonic the Hedgehog games. Number 11. Sonic 3D Blast for Sega Genesis and Saturn. Looking back, it's amazing how little it takes to impress you as a kid. Playing this game in toy stores was a wow-inducing experience for me because this was the first time that Sonic the Hedgehog was presented in 3D. Sort of. Really, it was just 3D models pre-rendered as 2D sprites all Donkey Kong Country, which is a look that hasn't aged well at all if I say so myself. But the gameplay's still good, right? Not exactly. This isn't one of those games where you can just rush to the end of the level. No, you have to find and kill 5 enemy robots in each section, free the flicky animals within, and bring them to the goal. But the controls are still good, right? No. Sonic in this game has a floaty feel to his movement, which throws all attempts at precision platforming out the window. But at least the soundtrack's still good, right? Actually, yes. In fact, this happens to be among my favorite Sonic soundtracks because I'm weird like that. Yeah. I wish I could stick around jamming to this, but I really should go on. Number 10. Sonic and the Black Knight for Nintendo Wii. In the late 2000s, before Sonic Team got their act together with the 1-2 punch of Sonic 4 and Sonic Colors, they were still in the business of tacking lame ideas onto their products. As evidence to that statement, enters Sonic and the Black Knight, the second entry in the Sonic Storybook spin-off series. I love alliteration. The Storybook series was a duology of Wii titles, the other being Sonic and the Secret Rings, which transplanted the Sonic universe into different pieces of world mythology. In the case of Black Knight, that would be the mythos of King Arthur and Camelot. Secret Rings was kind of okay, but Black Knight, not so much. You see, Sonic uses a sword, a talking sword no less. And I wouldn't mind so much, but the combat is very stop and go, with every swing of your sword killing Sonic's momentum, and the detection of your Wii Remote waggles to swing the darn thing are iffy at best. And some of the missions are completely dumb too. Like, there are some moments where you have to give rings to townspeople by way of QuickTime events. Why can't I just give them the dang things with one simple command? What were they thinking? Now, I honestly believe the concept of the Storybook series was an interesting one with lots of potential, but it's the sluggish controls and short campaign that do this game in, not its other crazy ideas. Number 9. Oh, I'm not going to make any friends for this one. You see, this next entry has some polarizing opinions from people who either love it or hate it. But I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to give you my personal opinions. And that opinion is, I don't very much like Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 2 for Dreamcast. For a time, every new Sonic game seemed to take one step forward and 2 steps back. Now take Sonic Adventure for example. It featured 6 gameplay types, some of which had nothing to do with our concept of a Sonic game and or just weren't very fun. Adventure 2, meanwhile, pares them down to just 3 types, and you don't have to waste time in the hub world to get from level to level. But that just means you have to deal with those other modes in order to continue to the good parts. And somehow they're implemented even worse! Also, the voice acting is lame, cutscene direction is amateurish, and the story is kind of dumb too. There are some good bits, namely the Sonic and Shadow levels, but seriously, don't let them blind you to the game's other problems. Number 8. Shadow the Hedgehog for Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. A Sonic spin-off that has use of guns, mild profanities, and vehicles, all based on the broken Sonic Adventure engine. This isn't going to end well. If there are any good concepts to be taken from this cluster fail, it would be the different missions you can undertake in order to influence your path throughout the story. But they had to ruin that too. You see, most missions involve killing all of a certain type of enemy, but it's hard to focus on one when everyone's gunning for you. Also, there are 10 possible endings in this game, but if you want to get a different one, you can't just branch off from a previous level. No, you have to start an entirely new game. And sure, there are only 6 stages to each playthrough, but that just means you'll have to do the first level a total of 10 times if you want to get all the endings. What were they thinking? Allegedly, the GameCube version is less awful in how well it runs, but it's not much help against such a poorly designed, poorly conceived mess. Number 7. Sonic Labyrinth for Game Gear. Does everybody have a mental picture of number 11? Good. Now imagine that on Game Gear, except Sonic can't run or jump. This is gonna suck. Because of the contrivance, I mean because of the game's story, Sonic went and had his shoes replaced with a pair of shoes that slow him down. Sonic still gets to use his spin dash, but that just means if you want any decent mobility to scoot around the stages, you'll have to deal with an unintuitive mechanic and all the infuriating sound effects that go along with it. Even without those limitations, navigating the game's labyrinths, shall I say, is still a chore. Not only do parts of each map look the same, but later levels rely so heavily on warp doors and one-way moving platforms that you'll make your head spin. As bad as you thought 3D Blast was, Labyrinth proves that things could always be worse. And case in point, this isn't the only Game Gear port on this list. Number 6. Knuckles Chaotix for the Sega 32X. Well, no wonder the 32X bombed. I mean, apart from its poor timing of going on sale when consumers were already holding out for the Saturn, PlayStation, or Nintendo 64. No, the problem with this expansion console was that it never got a Sonic title. Well, it did, kind of, but it was still a torrent of poor ideas. Knuckles Chaotix stars not Sonic, but Knuckles the Echidna from Sonic 3, joined by the Chaotix, a cast of generally uninteresting supporting characters. Except maybe SBO the Ninja Chameleon, because ninja? But you'll have to deal with them, as during gameplay, both characters you choose are linked by an elastic ring tether at all times. Having this thrust upon you, combined with the uncooperative AI of your partner, leads to some unpredictable physics, and at worst case renders precision platforming nigh impossible. And I'm talking about commonplace tasks as in running up a short quarter pipe. As an intended showcase for the 32X's abilities, Knuckles Chaotix is visually all up in your face with fluorescent bright colors and zooming effects, but without fun gameplay backing it up, it falls flat on its face. Number 5. Sonic R for the Sega Saturn. Speaking of failed Sega consoles, the Saturn was another infamous Sega flop which was also underrepresented by the blue blur. The only original Sonic game on the Saturn was Sonic R, which was not a traditional platformer, but a racing game. Actually, since most of the characters run on foot, Sonic R is more of a cross between a platformer and a racer, so once again, there are some good ideas to be had. But, once again, all hopes of entertainment are dashed by the touchy controls, which I have to say, may be the worst controls I've ever had to deal with in any video game ever. I mean, I ended up discovering shortcuts completely by accident. Not even the 3D pad with its analog stick makes any big difference in improving those controls. And the soundtrack with its high-energy house music and inane bubblegummy lyrics is all kinds of cheese. But little did we know, Sonic R served as a warning for problems that would plague the series for a decade to come. Number 4. Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric for the Wii U. Okay, honestly, I haven't played this one because I don't own a Wii U, and depending on how Nintendo's next console turns out, I might not ever. But seriously, do I need to? Sonic Boom's feelings have been well documented all over the internet. The game is riddled with frame rate drops and collision glitches, the platforming and combat are dull and boast few good innovations, and the hub worlds are so barren they make the ones in Sonic 06 look teeming with life. I will say that I, for one, like the character redesigns, although if that's the case, why not just stick to the Sonic Boom cartoon? I mean, I might as well. I'm just happy to watch any show whose sense of humor isn't just butts.
That doesn't look very safe.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm having you do it.
I'm dizzy and I have serious short-term memory loss. It's not like I'm paranoid. Stop following me!
Good enough. Number 3. Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis for the Game Boy Advance. As if it weren't enough that Sega had to ruin Sonic's 15th anniversary with that other infamous reboot, and believe me, I'll get to that in short order. In the same year, they also dumped upon us Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis, a remake of the original 1991 title for the Game Boy Advance. The low frame rate does an incredible disservice to the GBA's potential. The chintzy sound quality does an incredible disservice to Masato Nakamura's compositions, and the physics glitches do an incredible disservice to everyone else. I mean, yeah, you can play with the spin dash from Sonic 2, but that's like tying a fancy ribbon on a bag of dog dew. Of course, we don't have to worry about that anymore because there are much better ports of the game available, including the one for iPhone and Android, which not only run perfectly, but you can also play with the spin dash, plus you can unlock Tails and Knuckles, plus you can save your game, plus it's got achievements, plus it's only 99 cents. Seriously, go out to your favorite app store, buy that game, and leave the GBA one in the dust. Number 2. Sonic Spinball for the Game Gear. Have you ever played a pinball video game and stressed out about trying to hit specific targets, even though you're using a control mechanism based partly on luck? Either that or I need to practice harder. Well, that was the case for Sonic Spinball, a spin-off made in 1993 for the Genesis, and while it fell victim to this inherent design pitfall, it was otherwise playable. The same cannot be said about the Game Gear port, which suffers from muddled, unresponsive controls and a broken physics engine. Sometimes Sonic will stick along walls when it seems he should just bounce off them, and sometimes he phases right through objects. And that's just the pinball segments. On the rare occasions where you must traverse on foot, such as the mandatory bonus stages, these problems are exacerbated to the umpteenth degree. If you absolutely have to satisfy your pinball fix, just stick to the real thing. And I'm not talking about the Genesis port, I mean a real pinball machine. Before number 1, I'd like to throw out a few honorable mentions. Honorable in the sense that they didn't suck enough to make the list proper. So let's have at it. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Game Gear. It's not within striking distance of its big brother on the Genesis, but it's alright. Except for the bosses, which are all kinds of unfair. Especially the very first boss. Oh, and if you don't find all the Chaos Emeralds, you can't even play the last zone. Because you, that's why. Sonic Blast for Game Gear. You get to play as either Sonic or Knuckles in this one, which is cool, but the ugly art style, poor sense of speed, and overly precise hit detection make this one of the worst Sonic games on the Game Gear. Sonic Adventure for Dreamcast. This game introduced so many problems that plagued the franchise for years to come. New characters with playstyles that have nothing to do with the idea of Sonic, annoying voice acting, awkward animation, and a control engine ill-suited to 3D platforming, but in Adventure, these problems were just minor enough that I gave it a pass. Plus, I ran out of room on this list. Sonic Free Riders for Xbox 360. This is another one I haven't played because I don't own an Xbox 360, let alone a Kinect camera. But because of the technology of the Kinect, I'm willing to give this one the benefit of the doubt. Although, if my experiences on PlayStation 2's iToy are anything to go by, I'm not expecting much. Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal for Nintendo 3DS. Like its companion game on the Wii U, the 3DS Sonic Boom doesn't have a great sense of speed, plus all the backtracking and collecting you have to do to unlock new levels makes that problem even worse. But unlike Rise of Lyric, it's still kind of... what's the word I'm looking for? Oh yeah, competent. And now... Number 1. You might already know what's coming up, and let me tell you, I didn't want to put this at number 1. You see, going after easy targets ain't my style. I would have loved to surprise you with something like Spinball on the Game Gear or that Sonic GBA remake, but no. This one offended my sensibilities like nothing else on this list could. Let's address the elephant in the room and find out why. Sonic the Hedgehog for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Enough has been said about this title already, isn't it so? But still, I have decided that this attempted reboot deserves its place as the worst Sonic has to offer. It's not just the innumerable glitches and uncooperative camera. It's not just the unforgivably inefficient loading times. It's not just the stupid story or the unendearing character models like Dr. Eggman with full human proportions. Scream and run. No, it's the way all of those problems come together that proves Sonic Team have learned nothing from the mistakes made since Sonic Adventure. And all of those underlying problems, combined with their insistence on slapping new unwanted mechanics on top, is very North Korean of Sonic Team. And knowing what I do about North Korea, that is a very, very strong insult. So after witnessing the worst Sonic has to offer, I feel I should restore the balance. To that effect, join me next time when I count down the top 11 best Sonic the Hedgehog games. But until then, this is Kevin, the Happy Hipster, and you are the Resistance.